Hello, welcome to the Garden Gurus. I'm Trevor Cochran. We have got another fantastic program for you today, packed full of down-to-earth gardening inspiration. Here's what's coming up on today's show. This week on the Garden Gurus, Bonnie shows us how to reduce, reuse and recycle in the garden. Sue gets us seedlings started with a greenhouse project, and I introduce you to some of my favourite herbs. It's often around this time of the year that you start to notice activity of marsupials in your garden. If they're around, things like bandicoots, potteroos and bilbies will all play a role in your garden environment. Now, some people love it and some people are not so keen on it. So creating the right habitat is vitally important if you want to support and encourage them to stay in your garden environment. The team here at Caversham Wildlife Park care for a number of native Australian marsupials and have a tip or two about how we can provide a wildlife-friendly habitat in our own gardens. So Deb, one of the things that I find incredibly pleasurable is going into my garden where I'm lucky enough to have bandicoots active. They're really beautiful animals to have, and you can create an environment for them that supports them, can't you?
You can easily build a little refuge for little ground-dwelling marsupials in your garden, having lots of native plants for them, which provides protection. Yep. The most important thing is making sure that this area is a long way away from any area that your family or your pets are going to use. In particular, cats and dogs are a huge problem for our little marsupials.
I'd imagine that many of those native grasses like Lomandras and some of those strappy leaf plants, Dianellas, that produce either little fruit or alternatively lots of seed would be very important in a typical backyard environment that's going to be supporting bandicoots in particular.
Yeah, they would be ideal. And they'll also feed on your tubers and your fungi in your garden as well.
What about the holes that they're digging in my lawn and my garden? What are they up to?
Their little diggings can be a little unsightly, but they're feeding. They're collecting all of your little garden pests, so they're there to help you.
Most of Australia's wildlife is found nowhere else in the world, making its conservation even more important. We all have a role to play that can help our furry friends coexist in a shared environment with humans.
Have a look at this, folks, for an incredible floral display and succulent excellence. It's the crown of thorns, Euphorbia millii, and it really is a beautiful plant. Comes from Madagascar, hardly surprising, easy to grow, full sun, with excellent drainage, and you're away. But just be careful, because it has these thorns on the branches and stems, and if you get one of those under the fingernail, you're going to come off second best.
It's not very often that a new innovation comes onto the market which not only makes it easier to work in our gardens and saves us time, but it can be used by any gardener with any skill level, and still have done just that. They've come up with the latest garden gadget, which I can guarantee you'll want in your tool shed. This is the GTA 26 battery-powered garden pruner. It might look like it's just a cutter, but let me tell you, it is so much more than that. Still are at the forefront when it comes to battery technology and innovation. It's the perfect lightweight little tool, and it's really comfortable to handle. Now, if you've got overgrown shrubs, you can use this on them too. If you've got 4 to 8 centimetre thick branches, it'll cut through it with no problem. And if you are like myself who loves to get a little bit creative and do a few DIY projects, this will be your best friend, as it can cut timber planks up to 8 centimetres in width without any hiccups. It is incredibly light, 1.4 kilos, and that includes the 10.8 volt lithium ion battery, so you can feel at ease when doing any work with this in the garden. It also has this non-slip handle, making it a breeze to work with, and no kickback and barely any vibration, so you can get all that pruning work done without any discomfort. If you have a lot of work to get through in the garden, this will last you about 80 cuts on a single charge. And a nifty feature are these LED lights, which allow you to check on the battery's levels. And if it does run out of power, no problem. Just plug it back in and you'll have it fully charged and ready to go in just 70 minutes. Check this out, it has this retractable guard which has a 90-degree upward action to ensure you have a safe cutting experience, which I always appreciate when doing this kind of work in the garden. And I know I can rely on Stihl because they have over 90 years of German engineering excellence. And when you're done, you can use this handy little shredder to clear away any of your branches. Perfect for mulch in the garden. The GTA 26 pruner is a really handy and easy to use tool. And it also has the high quality Stihl chain, which is actually what they use in a lot of their chainsaws. And it has this nifty little feature here, which is a tool-free chain adjuster. So you can replace this really easily whenever you need. I managed to get this new garden bed all built, so it saved me a lot of time, which means I can make a head start on my other projects.
I reckon I've grown just about every kind of fruit that you'd ever want to put into your garden, except for one that I haven't managed to grow as of yet. It's only because I haven't found the right spot, but I have now. This is a fruit that we would use every day in the morning over the top of yogurt, or on a weekly basis at least, doing it with, well, something like a beautiful dessert. It is, of course, passion fruit. And now is the time to be getting passion fruit into the garden. Let me show you how. I've got the right spot for my passion fruit running up my chicken coop fence. Lots of sun, nutrients and water. One little tip, give it some sea salt, water it in thoroughly. As long as you're in a nice north-facing position like we've got here, it's going to take off and grow. And in a very short period of time, start producing flowers and subsequently fruit, which is what it's all about.
I'm here at the Botanic Gardens in Wollongong, just south of Sydney, where they have this wonderful wellness trail called Go Slow for a Mow that takes you all through the beautiful gardens to places like this. And they have a series of sensory exercises. For example, in this place, the idea is to imagine yourself as a bird and see the world through the eyes of a bird and think about how you'd get food and shelter, just like this beautiful water hen over there. You see, it's working already.
Many of us have smaller spaces to work with, so I've got some combination planters for you to consider this week that are good for your health and look great on a deck, balcony or courtyard. Now this is my herbal tea planter project. Herbal teas are so good for you and they're so easy to make, literally teapot, fresh herbs, and they have so many different health benefits. Now, the ones that I've chosen all come from the Renaissance range, and they grow exceptionally well in a bright, well-lit position. The trick is get the right pot. I've got one that's really nice and deep. It's this beautiful stone finish. You can get a lot of soil in there. That's good because herbs have a lot of roots. They'll grow down deep, but they'll grow out really big and full, which means you've got a lot to harvest. But the key to the whole thing is soil. Making sure you've got the best quality potting mix. If you've got this, the results are incredible. And then there's the plants. One trick. If you're in the garden centre, turn the pot over and ease the plant out of the pot. The roots should be white and not overly packed into the pot. These herbs are grown by my local herb grower, Swan Valley Nursery. And this one here is spearmint. It is a sensational mint in teas as well. Now, the whole idea of the mints is, of course, to give you these wonderful, refreshing flavours. Mint is such a cleanser of the system. This one over here, well, it's thyme, but it's a very special kind of thyme. It's bergamot. It's got that wonderful bergamot flavour, but it has all the benefits of thyme. The next herb I'm adding in this mix is bergamot, the real one. This is believed to help reduce the bad cholesterol in your blood. The other two I'm adding for this are Brahmi, the ancient Indian memory herb, and chamomile, the German type, which helps reduce hypertension. Now these herbal planters will do best if they're put into a full sun position and watered on a daily basis. And the biggest trick I can share with you if you want to get great results is to make sure that you're harvesting them on a regular basis. Once you've had this, you never go back. these herbal teas are sensational.
Successful seed growing is so much fun, and it's probably one of the best value ways of building up plant numbers if you want to grow lots of veggies and have year-round produce. But if it's flowers you're after, like me, you're taken by the gorgeous, colourful packets at the garden centre. It's a great way of germinating those varieties you don't often see in pots. Growing plants successfully from seed really needs a couple of things, and number one is good soil. With a good seed raising mix, all the hard work has been done for you. The mix is sterile, so it's free from plant pathogens and has the perfect ratio of drainage and water holding capacity and guaranteed weed seed free. Containers are easy to come by, whether you recycle pots, punnets or egg cartons. And the other essential is an ideal growing environment. Protection, warmth and humidity will give the seeds a head start. The Holman 4-tier mini greenhouse has got everything you need for successful seed germination. The environment created with the mini misting system is going to increase the humidity. It's a great DIY project for the little kids and also the big kids in your family. And it's a solution to bring all the simple projects together in one space. It's easy to put together and doesn't need any tools to assemble. With push-together fittings, it can be assembled in a few minutes. No experience required. These 4 shelves are strong enough to hold more than a few pots. As the weather warms up, place a mini greenhouse in a shaded position that doesn't get full sun. Ensure the misting system is set up and running before placing the cover over. This will increase humidity to allow for quicker germination. Air movement is important, and on warmer days, zip the sides up to keep it a little cooler. This cover is your secret weapon for cool nights or rainy days. Close it up so the warmth is trapped in. When it comes to germinating seeds, a rule of thumb, the smaller the seeds, the less it is covered. And as a guide, seeds should be buried twice their width. In the case of flowers like petunias, the seed is so fine that the greenhouse environment is ideal. The seed can almost sit on the soil surface, and the humidity created by the misting system ensures the soil surface doesn't dry out. Now, once the small seedlings have reached a 2-leaf stage, it's time to pot them up into a next size pot with potting mix. This has got all the nutrients you need for the plants to put on some beautiful new growth. And remember, you can also use a mini greenhouse for cuttings. These are some that I've got growing, and you can see, well, it's full. So I'm on a mission to put so many plants on these shelves, I won't know what to do.
Have a look at this nasty business here. It's wandering dew. It really is a very invasive and persistent weed. It comes from South America, where I'm pretty sure it's actually quite a desirable ground cover, but here it causes all sorts of havoc. But you can remove it by hand. You just got to make sure you get every single last piece of it, because anything left behind will quickly regrow and cause you all sorts of headache. The other way to deal with it is to maybe smother it in newspaper or cardboard and then cover it in mulch and just cook it out.
Managing pests in our garden is something that's vitally important to do, but more and more of us are trying to do it in a completely natural way to avoid introducing chemicals, most importantly to get those pesticides out of our natural environment. And it's not just important for our own personal health, it's critically important for the animals that we share the environment with. Caversham Wildlife Park are a dedicated team. Caring for over 200 native species, they have some tips on how you can benefit Australian native wildlife at home with sustainable pest control practices. Aidan, you've been working here at Caversham Wildlife Park for some period of time looking after the birds of prey. Tell me a little bit about this particular bird and the things that you do with these animals to keep them, happy and healthy.
So B2 is a barking owl, and primarily eats rodents, both in the wild and here at the park, so mice and rats make up most of her diet.
So there'd be a serious risk if people are trying to treat rodents, mice and rats, particularly in their backyard, with baits. There'd be a serious risk that these animals could also come in contact with those same poisons, right?
Yeah, it is very difficult. Not just birds of prey, a lot of other bird species as well. They can either eat the bait as is, which we call primary poisoning, or they could eat an animal that has been poisoned.
If we could encourage more owls to frequent our backyards, it would actually be a better way to control rodents than having to go through that sort of process.
Yeah, that's right. Oftentimes we don't have native species in our yards. Replacing things like palm trees with native trees helps bring more owls and other birds like kookaburras into your garden. They'll keep the mice and rats away themselves.
Caversham Wildlife Park hosts interactive sessions where you can come and chat about Australian animals. Seeking current information on safe pest control practices can make all the difference in our collective efforts to preserve our native Australian wildlife.
With the problem of excessive waste, what are some things that we can do in our gardens to help reduce it? Well, surprisingly, there's a lot that we can do. So I've come up with my top tips to help you get started. There are 3 key R's that can help point us in the right direction, and they are reuse, reduce, and recycle. And one of the first things that we can often find ourselves throwing away are empty plastic pots. Instead, reuse them to sow new season seeds or to pot on plants for further development. And once these pots have been used so many times that they are no longer usable, then recycle them. Another hack that I've been using a lot in my garden this season is to use empty egg cartons as seedling trays. And they're really easy to use. So once your seeds have germinated, simply just tear off the egg carton and then plant your seedling into the garden. If you are like me and love feeding your garden and end up with a few empty fertiliser containers, well, save them. They make great weeding buckets, which you can never have enough of. To reduce food waste, don't throw it away. Instead, you can establish a compost heap, or if you've got a worm farm, you can feed those scraps to your worms, and over time that will turn into beautiful compost or even vermicompost that you can use in your garden. If you find yourself with a lot of clippings, you can chop them up into small chunks and pop them in your compost heap. Or if you have a lot of branches, you can put them through a mulcher and create your own homemade mulch, just like I have done in this garden bed here. But there is another way that you can use branches in the garden. Long tree branches can be reused to stake up plants that require support, like veggies, roses, and even other climbing plants. And if you find yourself with a number of branches, you can make an obelisk with a little bit of string, which I love the look of. With a little bit of creativity and planning, we can really reduce the amount of waste in our gardens. So reusing plastic pots when we can, using plant clippings when we can, and recycling correctly will make a huge difference to everything around us and in our gardens as well.
Well, that's all we've got for you this week on The Garden Gurus. I hope you love the show. Now, the good news is we're back next week with another great episode packed full of down-to-earth garden inspiration. But if there's anything you want to know from today's show, all you have to do is simply check out our website. It's a great resource and it's a really good way to find out information about things that you love in the garden right now. It is, of course, thegardengurus.tv. Of course, if you've got a question specific that you'd like to ask, all you have to do is visit us on Facebook. I'm Trevor Cochran. We'll see you again next week with all the gang for another great episode of The Garden Gurus.